Morning everyone, welcome to All Four Queens. I've got a time delay on my phone, so it looks like there is somebody in there. And I noticed on some of the other recordings, when the recording plays, they cut it so it's like it's not playing properly. So you'll have to bear with me because you can clean your phones, but they still keep coming in. So this morning, I hope everyone's doing well. I moved into another room, and obviously you listen to the sound. Sorry about that, it's the extractor fan, but obviously there is stuff going on in the room as well. But I moved right at the other end of the hotel. I was going to move to another hotel, but I just thought, no, I might as well stay here for the time being. And obviously I got intuition messages to say, you know, there are things on the horizon. However, what I want to talk about today is entrapment, imprisonment, and I might do that on a separate one because obviously we know they took the car and obviously trying to get a replacement car, and it just so happens they ended up in the hotel and no one will refund the money. So there's an issue around money as well, and I'm going to go into that in a minute. Because obviously what these people tend to do is they will bleed you dry. And I've gone through all my accounts and there is money been taken, and it seems funny that it's in two different places. I couldn't have been in two different places in the country at the same time on the particular dates that the money's gone out. So, and also we know the credit card company gave me a refund of £120, but what they didn't do is go through all the transactions that were not my transactions. So obviously I need to do a lot of work on that. So I am being busy doing a lot of accountancy stuff at the minute. So obviously I've got to go through all that, and then what I'm going to do is obviously raise up a few more action fraud reports because I raised them at the very beginning, and obviously because my identity got stolen, and obviously those in the positions of authority did nothing. This has obviously escalated to where it is now. So I'm getting the impression that whoever it is, they're intending on draining me of everything, i.e. taking the car, trying to imprison me here, trying to siphon energy, just doing all the crazy stuff. So my question to that is, what's happened? What happens around modern slavery? What happens around imprisonment and entrapment? Because quite clearly, they're using the matrix to make it difficult to move forward, and all those types of things. So just want to recap on some of the things that have gone on top of the one that I did previously. So I get my emails stopped coming through on my phone. They were blocked for quite some period of time on my mobile phone, but now they've started to come through again. So there was loads of trading platforms. Now I did do a couple, and I tried to get a refund on those in lockdown, but there was a couple that I don't recognise, and they were asking for my identity to be able to keep the platform open. I didn't do anything with those platforms. So there was the platforms. Then obviously there's my personal bank account where someone's gone around and is drawing money and using my account. I'd already informed the bank of the suspicious software that came through, so that should have stopped at that point, but it looks like it hasn't. There's some small transactions of 50p. Well, I wouldn't do 50p. So you can see how they've tried to do it. Obviously the credit card, there was some transactions on there which I haven't done, so I need to go through all that. Obviously, there's I would normally have stayed in my car in some scenarios because it was safer, but obviously taking the car away, I was forced into hotels, and obviously it's how they get to do whatever they do. So there's a couple of hotels. There's three that in particular that I use, but then there's those particular same hotels where there's transactions as well where I wasn't there on that particular day. So I've just got to go through all that. Then obviously we have the car battery, where the car was supposed to have been checked. They won't refund that, and they won't refund the hotel. So obviously you have to do something separate on that. Then there was my car where they messed with the little car that I had, and I had to pay the RAC to do something on the clutch because they disconnected something, and I was forced to stay in a hotel again, and everybody was throwing out heavy energy. So you've got two car garages as well that potentially are they affiliated, who knows. And then I've obviously had two laptops that they've broken. One keeps coming up with loads of Japanese stuff, and they put downloads on it as well, so I have no idea. But one of them, they just completely shut it down. When I posted the stuff about the police complaint my laptop shut down because I was actually on a course to do with child helpline. I wanted to join them and do some voluntary work, and they completely shut my laptop down, so I couldn't apply for the voluntary job. Data excessive usage, so my usage on my phone and everything else and on my Wi-Fi. I can't, obviously it's slowing down to try and get a replacement car, so obviously it's all affiliated because obviously there's a reason why they want me still here. Obviously they've blocked me working, so I don't have any earnings coming in, so hence why they're trying to drain my finances, because obviously they've blocked everything. I've applied and it comes back and they've blocked it. They blocked me trying to get a refund on some of the things that I did early on in lockdown, in terms of, so I asked the question, was those authority figures part of the affiliated groups as well? They blocked my business, and all the contacts in my phone. Obviously people were going around saying negative things about me, which obviously is defamation, and obviously they sort of all backed off. And I'd had people in my community just looking at me like I'd got two heads, and I had no idea. The worst of it is who do you blame? Is it the person that goes around spreading the rumours, or is it the people that actually believe it and don't actually have the decency to come and ask you if any of it's true, so you can actually have a right to reply? Because for me, I think both are at fault, really. One, for believing it and not even coming and asking if it's true, and two, for the person that feels they have the right to throw just lies out, basically. Because I mean, obviously, if they do it to me, it means they'll do it to other people, doesn't it? So, you know, I don't really understand the logic in it, but hey ho, it is what it is. So obviously there's a defamation there as well, because they go behind my back and go and say some really crazy things. And I always, in my work, the amount of NDAs I've got from different jobs because of things that somebody's obviously said to make me lose my job. Now it could be they're part of an affiliated big group, so therefore they have that sort of power. But then I question, why should they? So there's that. Then obviously all my courses got blocked. So obviously I paid for courses, tried to get refunds on that, because obviously I couldn't use the laptop, so I couldn't do the work. So obviously there's a lot of expenditure on that as well. And there's a couple of courses that I did where I was supposed to submit things and I couldn't submit it because they blocked my laptop and my internet, because there's obviously recordings on that as well. My stolen creativity, they stole my book, they stole my art, and they stole, like, they're trying to control the YouTube channel. So, you know, you have to ask yourself why. And obviously all the profits that they got off my book and my art and stuff, I'd like to have that back, and I do call that back because it's mine. And then obviously they tried to block the credit card refunds as well. And then I asked the question, are they all affiliated in some criminal activity, gang or something? Which I'm assuming they are, or they're linked to something. Obviously I've had issues. They tried to do things to my food in my house. They tried obviously to inject me with things as well. The GoFundMe that I was doing for the bullying campaign got deleted, and I tried to reinstate it, and the lady there was really being quite difficult, so I questioned whether she's part of the affiliated group as well, or someone phoned her up and told her about it. But obviously it wasn't just about me, that's about helping other people. So I asked the question, why don't they want other people to be helped? And then so then there was that, and then obviously I asked the question about justice and the judgment. So what I want to just read a little bit out the Bible is this, because people don't like the truth, but unfortunately the truth is the truth, and whether people like it or not, it is what it is. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it to make someone else feel better. And obviously what they're doing at the moment is they're attacking me with obviously the unseen witchcraft, and then obviously they go out and say stuff with their mouth, which is witchcraft. And you can't see the stuff they do within, but I can feel it, and I know it's happening. So, you know, take it from there. But anyway, John 3:12, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe stands condemned already because he has not believed in the name of God's only begotten Son. This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but men love darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that his deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by truth comes into the light so that it may be seen plainly that what he has done has been done through God. So I read that because we seem, and I'm going to say for the collective here, we seem to be attacked because we speak the truth. But my question is, we get attacked for speaking the truth, and everybody has their right to their own opinion. I mean, it would be better if you come out of the dark and have a conversation rather than using all this witchcraft. Anyway, we get attacked for speaking the truth, which is obviously in the Word of God. But what my question is if you don't want the light, why do you want to steal the light's energy? Because it doesn't make sense to me. You don't want the light, you want to sit in the shadow and throw stuff out, but then you want to siphon the light's energy and i.e. keep people trapped in inverted commas, or make it difficult in your network for them to move forward and get a replacement car and their home and everything else that's gone on with me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. And you use a network of people to do it who are in positions of power. But whether they're told the truth, I don't know. But that's on them to find out the facts, not to believe everything that comes out of someone's mouth. So you do all that, and then you don't want the light, but you want to take everything that is of the light. You want to take the blessings, i.e. all of the stuff that you stole from me, which should have been coming into fruition and I should have been making money off it. You want to steal out my bank account. You want to steal from my credit card. You want to create a narrative of defamation around me, but you still want my energy and you still want everything that I have. But then you want to make out that I'm this really bad person when quite clearly I'm not. But you want to walk in my name and my essence, but you've defamed it. So for me, I don't understand the logic of why you want to put someone in a really bad light, but you actually want to be that person and you're completely jealous. And that's what it boils down to: jealousy, envy, because you want to be that person and you're not that person. And the destiny for that person is that person's destiny, because that's written by the ancestors who are my ancestors, who have decided what they want their destiny to be. So when we talk about destiny swapping, I don't think anyone has actually destiny swapped. I think what people have done is they've just stolen money, because to actually steal a destiny means you would do the destiny. And a lot of people have just stolen the benefits of the destiny, which is the money. They haven't done any of the destiny. They haven't done anything of my ancestors' wishes, and they haven't probably done anything for the passed over loved ones that left the inheritance and the trust fund in the first place. They've just basically stolen money. So I think we need to stop with the whole destiny stealing and talk about the actual thievery of just the money, because the actual destiny has not been fulfilled. It hasn't. Not for what the ancestors actually left the money for. It hasn't been fulfilled. So I just want to put that out there, and also why they don't like the light, but they want everything that the light has to offer. It doesn't make sense to me. And now I want to show you the cards, because the cards, I was sitting there and obviously I was contemplating. I don't need the cards because I can see what the card is anyway, but I use them for everybody else to see. So obviously we know the cycle has closed, which I don't understand why all this stuff is going on with my finances. The cycle's closed. Now the only thing I can think is that we've got villains who want to be seen to be heroes and are trying to squeeze people into positions so that they have to join something, or they think they have to, hence taking the car, coming for the home, coming for everything, because they've got a lot of money. But also the wheel's changing, isn't it? The wheel is now changing. The last, the first will be last and the last will be first, and that's prophecy. That's not me making it up. That's just the way it is. So this particular cycle for me has closed. So all this activity they're doing, they're still trying to keep it open. That's pretty much what they're trying to do. But for me, it's closed. There's no way around it. It's just closed. So you've got that. So then we've got the good karma, being me, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles, being me. That, by the way, I've not seen a penny of it. You know, everything I've ever had, I've earned it myself. Justice was abused. By the family who sent a message that the High Priestess had mental issues. Well, we all know this. And I'm going to give you a reason why they probably said it as well, my opinion on it. But they also said that she died of these suspected mental issues. But it came to light that the past were paid to lie. So the Queen of Cups could get a Two of Cups. And that's been going on for years. The healer was kept stuck and isolated. So she didn't have mental health and she didn't die. She actually was out there working in the legal system, the legal industry, unbeknownst to any of this going on. But obviously, I'm aware of it all now. So she was isolated. They worked with the Hierophant, i.e. an organisation, a church, who is now stressed. Everyone's fighting to walk away because the truth from me brought judgment. And now everyone's trying to run. Now I say I'm aware of it now. What I mean by that is I'm aware of the extent of it and who's involved. As a child, I was aware of some things, but as a child, you're just told to, do as I say, not as I do type scenario. And that was the family that I grew up in, so I don't really need to say any more than that. But so you just observe. You're observing and you watch and you just take notes, mental notes. And the reason why there's this big thing about mental health is because of all the nefarious things that are done as a child. And that goes from all forms of abuse. So that's the reason why they try and use the double-edged sword on mental health, because I don't have mental health. Never had it. And I do, my thoughts go out to all those that do. But what they're trying to do is trying to create a narrative, and they try and create the gang stalking, the noise, the frequencies, everything that they could possibly do, and put you in rooms full of like whatever, and create rooms that are unsafe. All the stuff that they do, take your car away for you to be, use your resources, and all the things they try to do to try to get you to react. And I've surrendered this because too many people involved, too many senior people involved, that I don't have the power against. So I surrendered it to the spiritual realm, because whilst the physical realm comes with a price tag, the spiritual realm doesn't. And I have never disrespected my ancestors. So I know full well that once I got them into light, they will do whatever they need to do to make sure that the scales are balanced. And when I mean the scales are balanced, that those who have taken fruits of their labour will be removed one way or another. because they will be their karma. Because I didn't steal from myself. Someone decided to steal from the ancestors. But what they didn't do was do the destiny. They just stole the money and had a good life on it, leaving everybody else in poverty. So, you know, the fight now is created spiritual warfare for attacking me and my home and coming for my stability and just trying to take everything from me. That's created spiritual warfare. But I also believe it's created some sort of spiritual civil war as well, because you've got dark ancestors fighting dark ancestors, light fighting light, because someone decided to conjure up dark ancestors to come and attack me. Which obviously you'd never attack your blood. Even in the physical realm, you don't come for your blood, and you certainly don't turn your back on your blood. But some people chose to because of their affiliation, and that's their choice. But obviously we all have free will, but we don't have choice of the consequences. And on that note, I'm going to leave it. So yeah, so what I don't understand is why they want the light, but they don't want to do the work. They want to take the benefits, but they want to cause destruction in people's lives by coming for everything and putting me in debt when I was never in debt, and then blocking me from getting refunds and everything else, and getting a car and trying to move forward, so they can try and create narratives and siphon energy. And whoever's in my phone, hopefully they're on the good side and that they know what's going on, because whilst these people are watching me, they're being watched. And every advert that they jump in on when I'm watching YouTube, I notice the earlier adverts aren't coming anymore, so I'm assuming that those people have been watched. Because I haven't invited them into my energy. I've moved away. When people left me left me on my own, for want of a better word, or went off and did whatever, I thought, okay, that's absolutely fine. I'll just be with my ancestors and those that want more for me, not from me. And I'm quite comfortable with that. But now I'm being hunted down like some sort of animal. And then obviously all the lab rat stuff. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. It's like, which one do you want? Do you either want me in your life or you don't? But you can't have both. And that's the bit at the dark I don't understand. The inconsistencies doesn't make any sense to me. Whereas the light's quite clear, isn't it? We just speak the truth and that's it. It is what it is. How people choose to accept the truth and receive it is up to them. But the truth is the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. So from that point onwards, I mean, it's my story, but I'm sure it's other people's story as well. And the reason why I'm having to use the channel as my story is to protect myself, even though they are trying to control who sees it. But for me, at least it's out there, and I've got it documented. And we'll take it from there. And I'm sure that the powers that be in the spiritual realm, if they want my story out there and they want the right person to see it, the right person will see it. Scenario around my house, not being able to get that sold quickly, and no different from the YouTube channel. Someone is not me, they never will be me, and they're just not part of my ancestral lineage. Or if they are, the ancestors have not given them the destiny or the trust fund, which inheritance people decided to share among themselves and not give me a cent. So anyway, I'm going to love yous and leave yous, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.